Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you what I expect to be a long one. I don't know what the length of this video is as I'm recording, uh, and I don't have a goal to keep it down to a certain minimum. So you see you see the length. I'm letting you know you should probably strap in. I'm also going to warn you now that this is probably, from what I saw out of Necrons, I have not looked at the Space Marine stuff yet. Full disclosure, we're going to go into this with me already having a very good opinion of the Necron stuff that I wanted to talk about, and came to make a video on that. Then I just saw that community was updated with a bunch of fucking files. This is probably going to be the highest up I've been on GW in a while. So if you're looking at it like, man, is Mr. Monster on GW's payroll? This is some unfathomable amounts of glaze out of Monster of all people. This would probably be the video. I'm warning you now on that front. Um, then the Space Marines thing might change my entire mind. We'll see. Uh, but also, I do want to say this kind of as a disclaimer for the glaze that I think I know I'm going to do so far is that I was thinking of teeing up a video because as if you have seen me before, you probably know that I'm a Tyranids player, first and foremost. Necron second. That's kind of why we're here. Um, but I was thinking of teeing up a video of how, like, GW, what the fuck are you doing over there? Yet my shit over here has a 4-up save, T5, 3 wounds. I can't get an invuln or two? I can't get some of this shit, right? I'm still hitting on 4s on range instead of 3s, things like that. Um, I did think about that because there are some things that definitely peeve me to my core, and I actually just ranted about it like on the pre-New Year's video where it's like I'll have somebody in my comments fighting me down to the death about Parasite of Mortrix going to 60 points will absolutely break the faction. Monster, you just want Tyranids to be OP. Monster, why would Warriors ever have a better save? You just aren't playing right. I know I've only played 4 games versus my friend that's only played 2, but I don't know, Monster. Tyranids do everything that I want them to do. You just might be bad. And then I'm like, are we serious right now? Look at that data sheet. Look at this entire faction. And this is the shit that we want to argue now. So I did think about making that an entire video. Truly did. But instead, I rather want to encourage 2 things. I want to encourage GW to continue doing this. I know to somebody's first reaction, this might sound insane. Gee, why, Monster, why the fuck would you want them to keep putting power into already represented factions? This is insane power creep, da 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 da. I get it. We'll explain there. And then 2, I want to, this is the other half of that. I want us all to think for a second and encourage this because this is what I mean. And I said it last Grotmiss, or yeah, last Grotmiss, and I've said this a lot of times since I've been doing 40k on this channel. That and since I've been covering game balance in any game, like this is one thing that I really want people to understand. Telling overbearing like game manufacturer, game publisher, game devs, whatever. No, you just gotta nerf the good shit. Doesn't make the bad shit any less bad. It just keeps everything bland as fuck. And the other thing about this is, if you can just continue to get new and exciting things, you keep things new and exciting. And that's kind of why, if you look at League, a new champion comes out, usually is turbo busted. And everybody goes, man, I can't wait to ban that champ in Champ Select. Looking at the things that are happening with Warframe, I'm glad Warframe is getting its flowers finally, but it's adding new and experimental shit that some people really didn't think they were going to like, and then some things that sound insane but keep coming, and then you balance from there. I've been covering Valorant. Look at Valorant. They don't do anything exciting. People don't want to play your game. You go, yeah, we'll rework the thing that's kind of bad, but we can't make it too OP, so you still make it shit. And people don't want to touch it. So, while it's easy to go, no, GW, how could you do this to me? How could you release this? My friend that plays Necrons is now just going to kick my ass even harder. I want us all to go, no, GW, that was fine. Now do it for the others. That's cool. Do it for the other factions. This is a multi-million dollar company. There's kind of no reason that there shouldn't be people for these factions so that it feels like the fucking faction and gets people excited the way that this does. I've been covering other games as you've seen on the channel. Every time I blink, I'm getting a new fucking carrier pigeon like, hey monster, Space Marines are doing something funky again. Hey monster, did you see Victor Conagard? Did you see Titus? Hey, did you see the last three detachments before that? Did you see what they did? Like, every faction wants that. Then Necrons, if Necrons are going to be the runner up, and, you know, it's not every other day that I'm hearing something new about them, but when it is new, it looks pretty damn good. That's what every faction wants. That's what every faction wants. So I think instead of everybody raising pitchforks about how could you do this to me, GW, you've betrayed me, you put some insane shit out there. Instead, encourage and possible GW employee, because there is one thing that I'm like, holy fuck. Maybe they are actually watching some videos. Um, that is like, no, nobody's gonna be, well, everybody's gonna be upset all the time, especially because we're an aging male over all aging male population, so we get a bit cranky. Uh, but you know, if you can just show the same care for every faction, there's only so many, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I know you have Sigmar to worry about, Old World, Necromunda, all the other shit. Cool, but with such a large company, there's no reason that some factions should feel completely forgotten. Meanwhile, factions that are in a good spot continue to get new good shit, new rules, care, love, appreciation, all the things. So that's the preamble, that's the tangent from the start. Now, let's review the things where I'm probably going to glaze even more. Going to be honest. So, starting with Cryptek Conclave, page 4, Necron's Faction Pack. We have Cryptek Conclave. I'm not reading all the things, I'll do that on my own time because I think this is going to be long, so we don't need to make it longer. And you've probably already seen this. I'm familiar with the Necron stuff because of insert popular 40k channel here. I think we all already know, so I'm going to kind of go pretty fast here. But the detachment rule is Techno Sorceress Augmentations. Pretty fucking solid name. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, GW. Let's get a little wacky. We're not full of onslaughts and assaults here. Ironically, has ranged weapons equipped by Cryptek models from your army have assault. Okay, that's one thing I didn't necessarily peep. It's the Cryptek models themselves that have assault. That's why assault is doubled here. In your shooting phase, each time a Cryptek unit from your army is selected to shoot, you can give it anti-infantry 3 up, anti-mounted 4 up, assault heavy, or ignores cover. Choose one. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit have that ability. Fine. That's perfectly fine to me. In fact, I know everybody's looking at anti-infantry 3 up, and again, I think I said this with Drukari, and when I was trying to make a case for AdMech to like start trying some shit, and then they got buffed, and guess what? Guess who's at the top? Now, mind you, I will say that's not fair because it did take quite some significant buffs. But you know, when you explore some shit, I say all this to say, an anti-infantry 3 up is needed. Uh, I think you, I think that's pretty solid. I don't mind it being in there because realistically, right? You were wounding a lot of the infantry on threes anyway. But when you have your Victrix Honor Guard, your fucking uh, Dark Angels in general, kind of, any of your tankier infantry, this is going to come in handy, and this keeps them in check. Uh, so I like that design space. I know kind of people are flipping out about that. From what I've seen so far, maybe everybody cool it off in a day or two, but that's solid. I appreciate it. Let's speed this up because don't want to be here all day. Enhancements: Quantum Abacus, Necron model. You select the bearer's unit as target of a stratagem. Roll 1d6, adding 1 if they're within range of an objective marker. On a 4 up, they gain a command point. Cool. Atomic Disintegrators. In your shooting phase, each time the bearer's unit is selected to shoot, when selecting ability, yada yada yada, you can also give them anti-monster, anti-vehicle 5 up. Awesome. Anti-mounted, you're probably not stacking that. You're looking at assault heavy, ignores cover, and then anti, if that's what you're doing here. Unless you really have faith, trust, and pixie dust that splitting the fire would do something. But, no, that's fine. Gauntlet of Compression, adds 6 inches to the range characteristic of ranged weapons equipped by models in the bear's unit. Dope. Uh, Gravatic Bolus. Gravitic Bolus? Let's go with that. Bolus. In your shooting phase, after the bear has shot, select one enemy you hit by one or more of those attacks. That's not Titanic. They're pinned. We know what pin does. -2 to move and charge. Cool. Molecular targeting, shooting phase or the fight phase, Necron's unit that hasn't done one of those until the end of phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack, ignore mods. If they're Cryptek, you can also ignore modifiers to the wound roll. Cool. Synergistic empowerment, start of shooting phase. When Cryptek unit, select one friendly Necron's model within a foot of a Cryptek model in your unit until the end of the phase that friendly Necron's model has Cryptek. Looking pretty good. Micro Scarab Swarm. Your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. One Cryptek infantry that was selected as a target. If your unit has Necron's warrior keyword until the end of phase, they have a 5 up invuln. If your unit has Immortals, they have a 4 up. Cool. Untapped power, shooting phase. One Cryptek unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. That friendly Necron's model. Huh. Yeah, I guess you could chain these. Untap power, Cryptek, until the end of the phase. Each time your unit is selected to shoot, when selecting an ability for the techno, yada yada yada, you can do one additional for those available. So, start of your shooting phase and then end your shooting phase. What I'm looking at is a Cryptek unit can give another Necron's model, then until the end. Yeah, that isn't a monster or vehicle. See, I mean, I know what they're going for, but that looks like you can reverse it. Until the end, that friendly Necron's model has a Cryptek, so you can't put it on a Catan or the Silent King. That's fine. Probably can't put it on Doomstalkers either. Can't see what you would really want to do that on, but can't think of one off the top of my head. But you can make something a Cryptek with the synergistic empowerment and then use an untapped power on it, from what I'm understanding. Pretty cool. Animus Curse. Your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase, just one Cryptek model from your army that was destroyed. You can use it even though it was destroyed until the end of the battle. Each time a friendly Necron's model makes an attack that targets the attacking unit, you can reroll the hit roll. You all know I love that shit. You all know that those type of strats, I fucking love them, so I love it. Potentially Siphon. Potentiality Siphon. Sorry. Potentiality. It's early. Can't read. Sorry. Siphon. They also spelled siphon not the way I would spell siphon, which is throwing me off too. That's my excuse. Your opponent's command phase. One Necron's unit from your army within range of an objective marker. Your reanimation protocols activate. If it's Cryptek, it reanimates an additional +1 wound. Dope. Then we come to Cursed Legion, Cold Fervor. Add 2 to the strength characteristic of weapons equipped by Destroyer Cult models. Now, I do have a question about this. Because on the picture, they have flayed ones. And actually, let me just open my app real quick. Did I miss an update? Because it's looking like. Okay, it's looking like I have to update the app anyway. Come on. Where's my. Where are flayed ones? Flayed ones. Yeah, no. Flayed ones don't have the Destroyer Cult keyword, as far as I can see. So, we need to fix that somehow? Question mark? Maybe that'll happen somewhere else. I mean, they don't because they aren't, but the same way that the Norn Assimilator now has Harvester, I feel like we can just fucking do it. Cold Fervor. Add 2. We already said that the first time each turn that a Destroyer Cult unit from your army makes attacks that destroy a unit or causes to go below half. After that unit has finished resolving its attacks. Until the end of the turn, add 2 to the strength characteristics of weapons equipped by friendly Necron models. Huh. That actually sounds not that bad. I'm going to be honest. I rolled my eyes when I saw Destroyer Cult and just said, "Fuck it." I'll move on to the next one. Cool. That's to the friendly. That's not Destroyer Cult Monster or Titanic. So there's something to keep in check there, kind of. Pretty sick. Catacomb Command Bards or Overlord can get Destroyer Cult +2 to the move characteristic of models on the bearer's unit and add 2 to the attack characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer. Fine. Murder Mine, Cryptek model only. The bearer has Destroyer Cult, and during declared battle formations, the bearer can be attached to a Destroyer Cult unit that is excluding character units. If you do, the bearer's unit cannot contain any models without the Destroyer Cult keyword. Add 3 to the move characteristic of the bearer. Destroyer Cult model only for Mark of the Necrosaur. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes an attack, +1 hit. Fine. We like that. Cursed Circlet. Destroyer Cult model only. Each time an enemy unit is selected to shoot after that unit is shot. If any models you can get a surge move. We know how surge moves work. Awesome. I know the danger of reading over them quickly is that I might miss a very niche thing, but for the most part, it's a surge move. You understand. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Can you move within engagement range? Yes, you can. Perfect. Methodical Murder. Your shooting phase of the fight phase. One Necron's unit that's not a monster or vehicle and hasn't shot or fought, give them sustained. Driven to Butchery. Your shooting phase or your charge phase when Destroyer Cult. Until the end of the turn, it can advance and shoot and charge. You can only use this stratagem once per turn. Oh, okay. I'm like, what? No, you could only got it, but they're saying that in your turn you can't do it for your shooting phase and your charge phase. Got it. Got it. Uh, Image of Death. Your opponent's shooting phase. Oh, going back, what does Destroyer Cult? Is there a Destroyer Cult that has Assault? I guess you can make something have Assault, then Advance, Shoot, Charge. Huh. Now I'll circle back to that. Image of Death. Your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase. One Destroyer Cult that was selected as target. -1 to hit. Spreading Madness. Your charge phase. One Necron's unit that isn't a monster vehicle and hasn't charged. Until the end of the phase, each time your unit declares a charge, if one or more targets within engagement range of one or more friendly units, +2 to the charge. Mortis Protocols. Your shooting phase or the fight phase just after the first time a Destroyer Cult unit from your army destroys an enemy unit this turn. One friendly Necron's unit that's not a monster vehicle within 9 inches of that Destroyer Cult, they get their reanimation protocols to activate. And then 2 command points, Unnatural Aggression, end of your opponent's charge phase. Necron unit that's not a monster vehicle from your army within 6 inches of one or more enemy units and would be eligible to declare charge against one or more of those enemies. And is if it was your charge phase, you get to charge. Note that even if the charge is successful, you don't get the charge bonus, i.e., fights first. I really hope that they find a better way to clarify charge bonus for people. All right, Pantheon of Woe. Now, this is where the glazing comes in. Because last Grotmas, when we were taking our guesses of what each faction could get, I said in there, I really hope that it is something for the monsters. Cough cough, big surprise, missed the monster, want something for the Catan. And guess what the fuck happens? Well, Pantheon of Woe, hold your tomatoes and pitchforks. I think it's sick. I'm glad they did it. Do they watch videos? I don't fucking know. But I fucking this is how they should have done the fucking assassin Imperial Agents Assassins one. This is how they should have done it. Like this is good. This is good. Cosmic Distortion, Necron monsters from your army have the following abilities. These are you have to take these, like these are mandatory points increases, but they're good this time. Sorry for the necrodermal bindings. I guess I should say that. That's that. But when mustering your army, each Necron monster unit from your army has the relevant necrodermal binding ability, and you must increase the points. If this causes your army to exceed the points limits you're playing, you cannot play that unit in your army. Cool. Back to the detachment rule. I I just think this is sick. This is how things should be done. Uh, while an enemy unit is within 6 inches of this unit, it is unraveling thanks to distortion fields as an aura. While an enemy unit is unraveling, each time an attack targets that unit, improve the AP characteristic of that attack by 1. At the start of each phase, for each Necron's monster unit from your army, that unit can suffer 3 mortal wounds. Remember, you're playing Necrons, you can heal those back. If it does, until the end of the phase, the range of that unit's distortion field's aura becomes 9 inches. If your army contains more than one transcendent Catan unit, each of those units must take the relativistic tether ability. Alright, so they're saying that each transcendent Catan has to take this. Cool. Singularity Matrix. Shard of Deceiver gets, guess what? Lord of Deceit. Perfect, that makes sense. Quantum Gold. The Nightbringer gets advance and charge. It also got pretty buffed. Animus Damper. Catan Shard of the Void Dragon. Once per turn, at the start of your opponent's shooting phase, select one enemy vehicle unit visible to the bearer. They have to take a leadership test. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll, and if that leadership test was failed, -1 from the wound roll as well. Perfect. And relativistic tether, let's go with that. Transcendent Catans, in your turn. Each time this model is set up on the battlefield using Deep Strike or its transdimensional displacement ability, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 6 inches away from all enemy units. When doing so, if this model is set up within 9, it can't charge. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. You are trying to just get the aura online, and it's better. And well, I mean, the melee isn't that bad, but it has assault anyway on its gun. Disharmonization cascade. Let's go with that. Any phase just after Necron's monster model from your army was destroyed before making his deadly demise roll, that you can make the deadly demise activate on a 3-up instead of a 6. Cool. Introphasic aura targeting. Shooting phase or fight phase, Necron's unit that isn't a monster from your army and hasn't done one of those things. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets an enemy unit, reroll a hit roll of 1. If the target of that attack is unraveling, reroll a wound roll of 1 as well. This is good. That's this. I like it. I love what they've done with Pantheon of Woe. Molecular erosion. Command phase. One Necron's model unit from your army. Select one unraveling enemy unit visible to your unit. That enemy unit must take a battle shock test. When doing so, subtracting 1 from the result. If the test is failed, that enemy unit suffers D3 plus 1 mortal wounds. So, Mind you, this is in the command phase, right? Now, you can only use this stratagem once per battle round. Which is fine, I guess. So this is, you know what, this is a Necron's portion. I'm not going to talk about Tyranid shit, but we like it. Chrono Distortion. Fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, one Necron's unit that was selected as a target. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit is destroyed. If that model has not fought this phase, fight on death. Adding one if the attacking unit is unraveling. On a 4-up, fight on death. Mass Transmogrification. They didn't make it easy on your boy with the speech impediment. Your shooting phase or the fight phase. Just after a Necron's monster unit from your army destroys an enemy unit, one friendly Necron's unit that's not a monster within 6 inches of that monster. If that enemy unit was unraveling at the start of the phase, your friendly unit's reanimation protocols activate. You can only do this once per turn. Fine, we like it. And phase melding. Your opponent's movement phase when an unraveling enemy unit is selected to fall back. One Necron's unit from your army that is within engagement range of that enemy unit. When that enemy unit falls back, all models in the enemy unit must take a desperate escape test. When doing so, if the enemy unit is battle shocked, -1 from each of those tests. Cool. See, this is fine. All of this shit is fine. You don't see giving many of them like sustained lethal dev wounds, right? Like this is all fine, and the abilities up here make sense. Like what they did with Pantheon of Woe, clap clap bravo. Uh, I like that. So coming back up here so that we can remember what fucking pages to skip to. All right, 16 is where the fun begins because they've made some changes. All right, Nightbringer. Now, Gaze of Death, 18 inches, D3, hits on 2, strength 12, AP3 now, D6 plus 3. He also gets fucking Deep Strike. 5 up, Feel No Pain is still there, but Necrodermis has changed. And this is, you know what, not going to do it. Again, Necron portion, not Tyranids, but Necrodermis. Now, instead of having damage, -1. Cool. Death Wounds on the strike, don't have it on the sweep. 14 attacks, profile, pretty good. Actually, did the strike get a bonus AP? I don't remember. But strength 14, AP 4, D6 plus 2 damage, 6 attacks on the strike. Oh, sorry, I forgot. 10 inches of fucking movement and 16 wounds. Fly, deep strike. This is the shit. And the points are updated. Actually, let's go to the points right now so we can just talk about it. Nightbringer, for 315 points, you get 10 inches of movement, deep striking, T11, 3 up save, 4 up invul, and 16 wounds. AP4 on a strike, AP3 on the ranged weapon. Did I say that it has deep strike? So yeah, awesome. It's looking pretty good. Can't be your warlord. Then we have Void Dragon, 10 inches of movement, T11. Like this is the profile. They have deep strike. All right, Necrodermis changes. Necrodermis change. Spear of the Void Dragon. Don't know what my neighbors are doing. Sorry if you can hear that. Anti-vehicle 2 up. AP3. Strength 8, AP3, D6 plus 2. What on earth are they doing? Yeah, I'm sorry. If you can hear that. Voltaic Storm Blast. Sustained hits 2, D6 plus 3, 7, 1, 2. D3 on Spear of the Void Dragon. At the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy vehicle. For matter absorption, within a foot of this model, roll 1d6. On a 2 up, they suffer d3 mortal wounds, and you regain as many lost wounds. And Necrodermis change is Necrodermis change. Strike, anti-vehicle 2 up, 5 attacks. Hitting on 2, strength 12, AP4, damage d6 plus 2. The rest of it is AP1, and it's fine. Alright, and Deceiver. Alright, did they change? Nope, they didn't. Still have Deep Strike, Stealth, Cosmic Insanity, Anti-Character 4-up, Deathwounds Precision, it's whatever. Golden Fist, 8 attacks, and on 2, Strength 10, AP3, Damage 3. Funny that they didn't change the movement of Deceiver. But as you can see, they all have 16 wounds now, 3 up save, 4 up invul. Transcendent Catan, Movement 8, just like Deceiver. Yep, just like Deceiver. Uh, Same profile though. 11, 3 up, 4, 16 wounds. They already had Deep Strike. Keep it. Transdimensional Displacement. They still have their teleport. Necrodermis changes. Necrodermis change. Uh, I guess I did forget that their melee was technically better, but it's D6 damage instead of a flat 2 on the ranged weapon that has sustained and assault. So, you know, it's whatever. But looks good. Then we have Necrosaur Amentar. Not gonna lie, I almost forgot about this guy, which I shouldn't because we're going to see him. We are going to see him. And Mythic Disintegrators ignores cover. Pistol sustained hits 2, 18-inch range. Sorry. Well, let's finish this. 4 attacks hitting on 2, strength 6, AP 2, damage 1. His profile: movement 10, T8, 3 up save, 4 wounds, 4 up invuln, 9 wounds. Sorry. Leadership 6 up, OC 3. Has deep strike and fights first. Has protective disciples. Lone up when around other destroyer cult models, 3 inches for that one. Infectious murder madness aura while a friendly Necron's unit that isn't Titanic is within 6 inches of this model. If they're destroyer cult or attacking their closest eligible enemy unit, they get sustained. And Prophet of Destruction: each time this model destroys an enemy unit, select one other friendly destroyer cult unit within 9 inches of it. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. Go into his melee weapons. Has Blade Tail and Whip Coils, extra attacks. I don't know why they keep putting extra attacks on top. I don't care if the alphabetical order of the attack of the name of the weapons. Put it extra attacks at the end. It makes it less confusing for new players. But 6 attacks hitting on 2, 611, and then Unmaker Gauntlet. 6 attacks hitting on 2s, strength 10, AP 3, damage 3. War Gear ability: Nullstone Field Generator. While a friendly Necron's unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, models in that unit have the Feel No Pain 5 up ability against mortal wounds and psychic attacks. He looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Uh, yep, looks pretty good. So, that's the Necron's portion. And I look like I have to speed this up because who knows what the fuck my neighbors are doing. Sorry. That's the Necron's portion. I think they did a pretty good job on, especially Pantheon of Woe. It is kind of what I wanted when I said, "Hey, can you do that?" And they did that. They did that. All the things. I mean, looking like that, looking at that, the macro sites is kind of cool, right? But the things that they've been adding to Necrons is good. It's good. This is what every faction should be getting. Because we can't all be Space Marines. Starting on page 6 fucking teen. Okay, 16, Bastion Task Force. Battle line can shoot and declare charge in a turn in which they advance or fall back, and they can perform an action in which they advance or fall back. Each time an Adeptus Astartes battle line unit from your army is selected to attack. After resolving those attacks, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks. Until the end of the turn, they are Auspec scanned. Each time Adeptus Astartes model from your army makes an attack that targets an Auspec scanned unit, reroll a hit roll of 1. As if you didn't already have Oath of Moment. But hey, now you can just keep the party going, am I right? Enhancements. Eye of the Primarch. Sorry, I forgot to say on here the other points. Deceiver went up 20, Void Dragon went up 10, Transcendent went up 10. I think that's fine. I think that shit is fine. And they don't have. Do they have Necrosaur? Oh, they do. 165. Cool. Going back to Space Marines, Battle Line. Sorry, Eye of the Primarch model only. Adeptus Astartes model only. Ranged weapons equipped by the bearer and battle line models in the units in the bearer's unit have precision. Whatever. Adeptus Astartes model only. While the bearer is leading the unit for hero of the chapter, the bearer has battle line. Alright, fine. Blades of Valor. Adeptus Astartes model only. See, hold on. Coming back to Hero of the Chapter, thinking about it though, making some goofy shit get battle line to then give them advance, shoot, charge, fall back, perform actions. Yeah, that could be annoying. Probably an auto take for something quirky. And by quirky, I mean it's probably going to just be painful for most of us. But hey, Blades of Valor. Improve the AP characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer and battle line models in the bearer's unit by 1. Fine. Bombast Omnivox. Each time you select the bearer's unit as target of a stratagem, we already saw this. If their battle line on a 4-up, if their battle line +1 on a 4-up, you gain 1 command point. Fine. Let's increase this to Geriatric. Codex Discipline. Your shooting phase of the fight phase, 1 Space Marine that hasn't done it. Till the end of the phase, each time a model unit makes an attack that targets an enemy unit, reroll a hit roll of 1. If the target is Auspex Scan, reroll a wound roll of 1 as well. Yep, that makes sense. Shock Bombardment. Your shooting phase of the fight phase just after an Adeptus Astartes battle line unit from your army did its attacks. Battle line unit. When an enemy unit is aspect scanned as a result of those attacks this turn until the start of your next turn, it is suppressed. We know what suppressing does. -1 to hit when they try to do something. End of your next turn is when that falls off. Guided Disruption. Battle line, battle line, battle line, shooting fight phase. When they do their battle line thing, the battle line. When an enemy unit is aspect scanned as a result of those attacks, if the enemy unit does not have monster or vehicle, they are pinned. We know what pin does. Minus move and character, -2 to move characteristic and -2 to charge. Angel's Defiant. Your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Battle line unit. Cool. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, if the strength characteristic of that attack is greater than toughness, -1 to wound, because why the fuck not? Light of Vengeance. I mean, hey, at least they don't also have Armor of Contempt in here, right? That'd be crazy. Light of Vengeance. Your shooting phase or the fight phase. 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that hasn't done it. Lethal hits or sustained hits 1. Till the end of the phase, weapons equipped by models in unit that have that ability while targeting an Auspex scan unit or if the bearer has battle line. That was an odd way to say that, but yeah, there you go. Heresy Undone. Final 1 for Bastion Task Force. Shooting phase or your charge phase. Adeptus Astartes unit from your army. Till the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn that would advance or fail back. If it does, every target of that charge and every target of those attacks must be an Auspex scanned unit. Cool. Orbital Assault Force. This is the shit that I was like, oh. At the start of the declare battle formation step, select the number of Adeptus Astartes units. 3 because we're playing Strike Force out here. They get Deep Strike. Adeptus Astartes units. Whole stop. If you want an Adeptus Astartes unit that's not Titanic to have Deep Strike, just give it to them. Each time an Adeptus Astartes model from your army makes an attack, if it was set up on the battlefield this turn, reroll a wound roll of 1. Fuck it, why not, right? If it disembarked from a drop pod this turn, reroll a hit roll of 1 as well. Yep. So they just made a fucking Bridgehead Strike for Space Marines. And better. Laurels of Thunder. Adeptus Astartes model. Reroll charge rolls made for the bearer's unit in which it was set up on the battlefield. Don't see you taking that, but there's probably something I don't know about Space Marines, as there always is, that somebody is going to love to use that. Adeptus Astartes models only for Veteran of the Vanguard. Models in the bearer's unit have Scout 6. Cool. Orbital Uplink Reliquary. Adeptus Astartes model only. After both players have deployed, you can redeploy. Which you also have Titus's unit, which we'll get to. Fine. Dedicated Gunship. Terminator model only, though. Once per battle at the end of your opponent's fight phase, if the bearer's unit is now within engagement range. Uppy downy. Cool. Suppression Strafing. Command phase, 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army. Select 1 enemy unit visible to and within 18 inches of your unit, that enemy unit takes a battle shock test. When doing so, -1 from that test. If the test is failed, the enemy unit is suppressed. We know what suppression does. -1 to hit. Cool. Auto sense coordination. Your shooting phase or the fight phase. Adept is a Astartes unit that hasn't done one of those. What is with their new phrasing on this? Select lethal hits or sustained hits 1. Until the end of phase, weapons equipped by models in a unit that have this ability in a turn in which they disembark from a drop pod or while targeting an enemy unit within a foot. Cool. Tactical decapitation. Shooting or fight phase. Adeptus Astartes that hasn't done one of them. Until the end of phase, weapons equipped by models in your unit have precision, and each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets a character unit, +1 to hit. Oh boy, be crazy if you were re-rolling hit rolls of 1 or playing Space Marines with Oath of Moment, possibly getting +1 wound. That would be insane. Blind screen. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Adeptus Astartes unit and Adeptus Astartes smoke vehicle or drop pod within 9 inches of it. To the end of phase, models in your units have stealth, and each time a ranged attack targets one of your units, models in that unit have benefit of cover against that attack. Fine for 1 command point. Shock onslaught. Fight phase. Adeptus Astartes that hasn't fought until the end of the phase. End of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes a pile in or consolidation move, it can move up to 6 instead of 3. Onward for the Emperor. End of your opponent's fight phase. Infantry that was not set up on the battlefield this turn, and 1 friendly transport that is able to embark within. Adeptus Astartes unit is wholly within 6 inches of that transport. It can embark within it. Fine. It's fine. It's cool enough. I think people are going to get a bit silly, but it's fine. Reclamation Force. Oath of Reclamation. Each time an Adeptus Astartes model from your army makes a melee attack that targets a unit within range of an objective marker, +1 AP. Each time an attack targets an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that is on an objective marker that you controlled at the start of the phase, and if the strength characteristic of the attack is greater than the toughness, or your unit has the Titus keyword, -1 to wound. For goodness. Your army can include Ultramarines units, but it cannot include any Adeptus Astartes units drawn from any other chapter. So, this is the Titus detachment, basically. But my goodness, that's a lot of fucking hoops on that second one, which is kind of funny. But it's not, but it is at the same time. Seals of Reconquest. Adeptus Astartes model only. Models in the Bears unit have a 5-up invuln, Avenging Avatar, and Aura. Adeptus Astartes model only, and the battle shock step of your opponent's command phase. If an enemy unit that is below its starting strength is within 9 inches of the bearer, they must take a battle shock test. Scroll of Proclamation. My goodness, it's been a while. We're fucking it harder as we go on. Scroll of Proclamation. Adeptus Astartes model only. Each time the bearer's unit declares a charge, if one or more of the targets are within an objective marker, reroll the charge. Cool. Liberatum. One of them. Each time the bearer makes an attack that targets an enemy unit, if the target is within range of objective marker, you can reroll the hit roll and you can reroll the wound roll. Alright. Crusading Conquerors. End of the command phase. 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army. Until the start of the next command phase, add 1 OC to models in your unit. Fine. Scions of Guilliman. Movement phase, just after a Space Marine has fallen back, that unit that fell back, until the end of the turn, they can shoot and charge in a turn in which they fell back. Furious Dedication. Your charge phase or the fight phase, Adeptus Astartes unit that hasn't done one of those, until the end of the turn, +2 to charge, and add 1 to attacks for melee weapons. You can't do this more than once per turn. Fine. Ultramarian Destiny. Movement phase. Adeptus Astartes. 1 objective marker. Sticky it. Fight to the end. Fight phase. Just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. That Adeptus Astartes unit that was targeted. Fight on death. Yep, just fight on death on a 4-up. I was just making sure that it didn't have the +1 for being an Astartes or some shit. Marching ever on. Your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy unit falls back. Your Space Marine that was within engagement range of that enemy can make a normal move up to d6 plus 1. Fine. Now let's double check which fucking pages have to look at. Titus 30 and 32. 30 and 32. And here's 30. Titus. Kind of insane, not gonna lie. Just honestly, Titus and Gilliman in the same list is gonna be kind of fucking kind of wild, huh? Uh, can you put Titus in? I mean, I guess you could put him with the Lion, but I don't know who would do it. Anywho, Titus, Captain Titus, that is. Movement 6. T4, 3 up save, 4 up invuln, 6 wounds. 5 up feel no pain, leader, oath of moment. Weapons equipped by models in this model's unit have sustained hits 1. Honor of Ultramar. This is where it gets goofy. If this model is destroyed by a melee attack, if it has not fought this phase, roll 1d6. On a 2 up, don't remove him from play. This model can fight after the attacking unit has finished making his attacks if one or more enemy models are destroyed as a result of those attacks. This model regains D3 lost wounds and is not destroyed. Otherwise, it is removed from play. So with your 8 attacks on your Mastercrafted Chainsword, that is anti-infantry 2 up, hitting on 2, strength 5, AP 1, damage 2, don't send an infantry unit to kill Titus. You better hope it's something bigger. He has a bolt pistol and he has a Mastercrafted bolter. They're who cares? They're fine. But he has a leader, and it can be attached to the following units: Assault Intercessor Squad, Blade Guard Vets, Company Heroes, Hellblaster Squad, Infernus Squad, Intercessor War Sister Sauce, Intercessor Squad, Stern Guard Veteran Squad, and the Wardens of Ultramar, which you're attaching him to. You can't have more than one Titus, which is funny because he's an epic hero. Oh, more than one Titus. No, hold on. Do they have the keyword Titus? No. So why did they? What is the loophole that they decided to check? Alright, I don't know, we're rolling with it. Then we have the Wardens of Ultramar, who has your familiar faces. We're not reading all of that off. They have some weapons that are 411, and they have some weapons here that are 401, 522 with 1 attack, 421 with 4 attacks, and 522 with 5 attacks. Fine. Second company banner. While this unit contains Gadriel, add 1 to the OC characteristic of models in this unit. While this unit contains Gadriel and Titus, improve the leadership of models in this unit by 1 as well. After both players have redeployed, thanks to Strategium Command, have deployed their armies, you get a redeploy. Fine. Refractor Field. The bearer has a 5 up invuln save. Storm Shield. The bearer has a 4 up. Who can take what? Who has, let's see. Gadriel doesn't have shit. Materius gets the Storm Shield, so he gets the 4 up. Who has the Refractor? Gaia Silva, who also has a Archaeotech Last Pistol and Power Weapon. Alright, so he has a Power Weapon, and does that mean that, yeah, Mataurus, whatever, gets the fucking Mastercrafted Power Weapon. Fine. Now, at the start of the declare battle formation step, this unit can join one of the following units. This counts as part of the unit for the rest of the battle, and the unit's starting strength is increased accordingly. You can also attach them to Assault Intercessor Squad, Blade Guard Vets, Intercessor War Sister Sauce, and Stern Guard Vets. Cannot join an attached unit, and only Captain Titus can join a unit that this unit has joined. So, Titus, Blade Guard Vet, Wardens of Ultramar. Call it a day. Yep. It's good. That's good. And let's look at their points. The fuck is Space Marines? Yep, looking at that, a whole lot of. Oh, yeah, the Victrix Honor Guard went down in points. Yep. Did they get nerfed in the Balanced Data Slate? Maybe. Maybe that's gotta. Maybe that's what I gotta check. But yeah, that's everything as far as what just went live when I was looking for shit. Funny enough. Uh, all right. Here we go. Here we go. Victrix Honor Guard data sheet wounds characteristic changed to 3. Okay. There's something. There's something. But yeah, Space Marines, Necrons, VW, just do this for everybody, and nobody has an issue. Like equal love amongst them. This shows that you thought about it and did it, and it looks pretty nice. Let's take that out of geriatric. Let's take this out of geriatric. Space Marines. I'm not a Space Marine player, but Titus looks like he came straight out the fucking game to play another game, and that looks pretty cool. Can't speak for the other shit. I know some people are still going to go, but why wouldn't I just still play? Da 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 da. I think this is all still interesting. Orbital Assault Force does have my attention though, so we'll see about that. But yeah, ending rant. It's fine. Like it's fine. It's interesting. It looks fun. I know some of it looks insane on first read. I promise, just think about it a little bit more. It's okay. It's just more so that other factions have jack shit compared to these just got some turbo insane things, in my opinion. I think if we just have more people care about more factions, then it'll be fine. So right now, I have to find $500 to buy some Catan, and at least 500, I think, to buy some Catan. Uh, maybe 600 to buy Titus. Who knows? What the fuck? Yeah, I think it looks pretty good, and I just wish that they continued this for everybody. I think that's it. If you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me? Comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.